Hello, Marlene. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hi, Nisam. How are you?
I'm fine too. So,
Great.
friends, we have Marlene here, and let me introduce about her. She is a certified transformative coach and artist. She has her first career as a certified nurse with 20 years of professional experience, including leadership, education for nurses in training, and consulting for both patients and staff. Later, she has been trained in complementary healing methods such as aromatherapy, aromamassage, as well as a baby massage class instructor for parents. She has always been interested in providing relief to people, helping them to act independently and self empowered. She is this increasingly unhappy about the situation in conventional medicine and fact that patients kept coming back without getting any attention to their wholeness or the underlying problems. Additionally to work pressure on nursing staff, she started a second career as she loves to express herself in art, which is the topic of today's interview, friends. She became a student again and successfully completed the first half of the 3-year training. By this time, because of her own health situation, she became exposed to the three principles. We will talk about it also uh, if time permits. This changed her view towards her own conditions as well as on the art therapy. It became clear to her why it can work like many other therapies and why it doesn't work. She left the school and became a certified transformative coach. Today, Marlene works as a solo player and loves to coach people by offering them a new outlook on life, to have a more loving relationship to them and other people and live their life joyfully. So that's Marlene for us, from nurse to transformative coach. And also, there is a spiritual dimension of exploring three principles. Wonderful. So, Marlene, my first question comes about what is this expressive arts therapy?
Mhm. Um, Expressive arts therapy, as I learned it, is a way to approach a new side on what's happening in your life,
Okay.
let's say. And the approach is to, I would say, art is a spiritual experience. It's something that human beings always express through from the beginning, I would say.
Okay.
And with the arts therapy, you kind of surpass the own thinking.
Okay. Okay.
I would say most of the time, or all of the time, our own thinking is causing the problems we're dealing with.
Yes, agree.
And so by using the force of art, we leave that behind or aside and dive into another dimension, a spiritual dimension, where new ideas, and a reconnection to our own source can happen.
Okay.
So yeah, and especially in expressive arts, as I learned it, we used the different arts expressions as singing or drawing or music, theater, and what else? Three-dimensional creation. So every possibility of expressing through art, because what you can see is if you go from one expression like drawing into movement, into, let's say, music, you connect different parts of the brain.
Okay.
And access much more ability to, well, let's say it's different. You access more parts that can help you go on with what you're looking for. So,
Okay.
and you have to drop every idea. You can't hold on to any limiting beliefs or concepts that you carry with you in terms of the problem you want to solve. And by moving from one to another expression through art, you just have to leave it behind. and with this, you can you are more open to what wants to come through you, to your soul or inner being, whatever you want to call it, to that you have a connection, more a connection to that wisdom. So, yeah.
That's how you define expressive arts therapy.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you said when you have learned, there was drawing, there was singing, there was, music, all that stuff. So what exactly happens when we do that through drawing? What are the benefits of it, Marlene?
Let me just explain something in terms of the let's say body of such a session. We start with, of course, we want to know what the problem is that the client wants to have a new insight about or go on with, and we listen to this, and then we leave this, one could say, at the door and go into another experience.
Okay.
Then we access it by sensible an awareness and then higher awareness to our five senses. We do something like short meditation or body awareness. Then we tap into that space, to that, one could say, we really open up to the now.
Okay. Okay.
And then maybe the therapist has an idea like, why don't you try let's say a movement, a movement that feels open.
Okay.
And so the client starts to move and try out what would feel open, and then there is a repetition. Okay, do it again, that movement, and then we can say, okay, take a pencil now and draw that movement on the paper. So he draws the movement on the paper, and there you can see you have to drop every thinking. You just invert into the now and feel something is moving through you. Something is doing this with you.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then let's say you have this drawing on the paper, and to go out of the session, you just as a therapist, you lead your client through so what have you experienced? What are you seeing now on this paper? And you always stay on the surface. You don't interpret something. You don't say, oh, I see you have read. This means da 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 da. You don't do this. It's not about this. You always go with the wisdom of your client.
Okay.
It's not what you think about or what you have concepts about. And what happens there is that sometimes people have a clue, got a clue or an idea, like, oh, I see, I could, this looks like a bridge, and I see I want to have a bridge to my inner guidance or something. And it's completely, it's not, it's never what one would expect at the beginning when you speak about the problem. It could be totally different subject that the client sees for himself and takes out of the session. And this changes something in his life. Maybe not even something that you initially wanted to change, but something else. And this is a great, this is so beautiful, because what we think our problem is, it is never.
Yes. Underlying so many issues would be there.
Yeah. Is that somehow an answer to your question?
Yes.
I just lost a little bit my...
No, because you answered the connecting point. I understand the benefits could be like they have touched the inner wisdom, they have expressed themselves, and even what the client is thinking is the problem could not be the problem. There is much more deeper insight to what a client has come up with a presenting issue. Wonderful.
Yeah. And of course, it's a playful way.
Yes.
It's just playing.
Yeah.
And I think this makes it so wonderful, light. It's not sitting there and speaking about problems years long.
No.
And yeah.
Understand. And that was my next question, Marlene, because some people are so logical and then not so expressive. For such people, how is expressive art therapy, works?
I think I mentioned it. It's because we tend to use always the same path in our brains. We have highways there, isn't it? Yes. Highways of thinking. And concept that we love. But there is not a solution.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes our thinking, I'm searching the word for. The thinking we usually use is leading to the problems we have. Okay. Or is telling us the problem that we have. So, and by using this, or by using this method, we surpass this thinking. We leave that aside and try something new.
Okay.
That's why I think, of course, it will help people that are straight thinkers, and yes. This has to be this way. Yeah. Is that an answer to you, for you?
Yes.
And of course, the client needs to want to do this.
Yeah.
There will be no possibility to experience anything if you don't want to. So
got it. Nice. And why do you think this expressive arts therapy works, and why it doesn't work, Marlene?
So what I see as really, let's say, like goalposts for a therapist, whatever you do as a therapist, if it's expressive arts therapy or something else, to me, what I found with the 3 principles is, as a therapist, you must know, you have an inner knowing that the person in front of you is completely okay, is complete, and is expression of well-being and wholeness, despite what's showing up on the surface. You as a therapist need to, or you have to be convinced that it is so. Okay. That was what this person is an expression of source, or spirit, or God, or whatever you want to say. And he thinks he's not.
Okay.
that's
the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And one other point is that we trust as therapists in the inner guidance of the client, that this client has wisdom in himself. He don't need your wisdom.
Yes.
He needs to reconnect with his own wisdom.
Wonderful.
And I'd love to open up the space to experience that through art or through, yeah. And I think something else is, I'm much better as a therapist or a coach when I'm really, really present.
Wonderful.
But when I'm in the moment and kind of holding open the door for the client to join, to be in the now, because then we are completely connected to our source, our wisdom, and can receive whatever it wants to tell us. Yeah, and of course, our own level of consciousness helps. And, or let's say, being aware where we are in the moment. Being aware that maybe I have my own thinking going on very, very strong, but I feel it and I know it and don't act upon it. Okay. When I'm in a therapy session, for example. So, yeah, and once again, to me, it's the knowing that this person is completely well. It's so powerful. I think this is why every therapy can help. Or when I'm thinking, oh, this person needs my help, this person needs my wisdom, I'm off the track. I'm off the track. Okay. Because this person is an expression of source like I am.
Wonderful. That was such a beautiful insight. And as a therapist and a coach, holding this space with the awareness that the person has all the resources, as much as like the expression of the source, and just be with that. And you, what I liked is, be in the present is what you said. So that being in the present with the client, and trusting that he or she has all the resources. Wonderful. Wonderful, Marlene. Thank you very much, Marlene. It was, thank you very much for your time, and it was wonderful talking to you about expressive arts therapy from a spiritual perspective, because the what is happening inside is just like where we could have talked about drawing or singing or dancing, but you gave a beautiful dimension altogether by connecting this with 3 principles as well. So it really made sense a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye, Nizam. Thank you for having me. Bye.